And now, MTA International brings you the world news.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to our third live report for today from the National Khuddamul Ahmadiyya UK Ijtema 2018. Our teams have been covering all of the different events around the Ijtema, both sporting, academic and of course the exhibitions. But the highlight of today was the hosting of the Khuddamul Ahmadiyya flag, which was conducted by the head of the worldwide Ahmadiyya Muslim community, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih V, may Allah be his helper. So firstly, let's take a look at highlights from that event.
Thousands of Khuddam attending the National UK Ijtema 2018 were graced by the arrival of Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen, may Allah be his helper, to lead the Zuhr and Asr prayers. Following the conclusion of the congregational prayers, His Holiness, may Allah be his helper, commenced the flag hosting ceremony.
So those were some of the scenes from the flag hoisting earlier, and now I have the pleasure of being joined by Jamal Akbar Saab, who's Naib Mu'tamim Atfal here in the UK. Jamal Saab, Jazakallah for taking the time out.
Jazakallah, Assalamu alaikum.
Firstly, could you just give an overview of the activities from Atfal perspective, because we've heard a lot about the Khuddam, but what have the Atfal been doing here?
So the Atfal, we kind of have a mirror program to the Khuddam program. So we have the academic competitions, so Tilawat, Azan, extempore speech and speech. And then on the sports side, we have all the regular sports of football and cricket. So obviously with Atfal, it's a greater challenge because we have different age groups. And so we kind of cater the syllabus and the different competitions to those age groups to make it easier for us to manage. So yeah.
And what activities are new this year?
So this year, from the success of the hub last year, we had a lot of feedback from Atfal that they loved the Khuddam hub. So this year we've actually created a hub for Atfal called the Atfal Arena. So we've had lots of competitions there, games for them, but I think the highlight has been the letter to Huzur, because the most important thing for Atfal to take away from here is their connection to Khilafat. So we have a section where Atfal are taught the etiquettes of how to write to Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen, how to write to Huzur, and what to write. And so they've given a nice picture as a souvenir from that, and that's been the highlight, I think, of the Ijtema so far.
And what's the feedback been from the children? Have they enjoyed it so far?
They've thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, even though the weather's been on the bit of the poor side, well, alhamdulillah, it's still been much better than we expected, and they're loving it. They're running around, they're enjoying the activities, and yeah, and they love the arena. So. Yeah.
Jazakallah, thank you for your time. So, as Jamal Saab mentioned, there were a number of special activities just for the younger age groups here. So let's have a look at some of those in more detail.
चलता है दौर मीना ओ जाम अहमदियत.
So this is the Atfal side of the National Ijtema, and like always, every year it's getting bigger and better than before. And we have so many different activities taking part, but of course our focus is on Taaleem and Tarbiyat. For instance, we have academic competitions all based around Salat.
It is a pleasure to be here and show your skills off to the whole UK. And I'm really looking forward to meet some new friends here. The privilege of being here is very entertaining, as you can do some sports. You're going to be taking part in Nazm, Tilawat, Azan and prepared speech. I'm also doing Tirana in front of Huzur tomorrow.
The whole approach is an all-inclusive approach. So it's not just geared towards sports, it's not just geared towards academics, but whatever the Atfal want to do, we've got that. We're trying to cater for their different needs and requirements, and of course this fun fair is also helping with the Atfal.
चमका फिर आसमाने मशरिक पे नाम अहमद मगरिब में जगमगाया माहे तमाम अहमद वहमो गुमान से बाला वहमो गुमान से बाला आली मुकाम अहमद.
This whole system has been, of course, set up by Hazrat Muslim just to focus on their Ta'aleem and Tarbiyat, and I think Ijtema, especially the National Ijtema, serves a great purpose to ensure that this Tarbiyat takes place correctly, and that's why Hazrat Muslim has said a nation cannot be reformed without reforming its youth, and what better way than to start at a very young age.
So we've had a look at the events that were on play for the Atfal specifically. And apart from that, we also have a number of exhibitions as well that have taken place. And one of those has been the Humanity First stall. And I'm joined by Dr. Ziza Fisab, who's the Director of Disaster Relief at Humanity First. Dr. Saab, Jazakallah for joining us.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Could you tell our viewers why you felt it was important for Humanity First to have a presence at this year's Ijtema?
So Humanity First has been able to join the Majlis Khuddamul Ahmadiyya UK Ijtema to highlight some of the vast array of activities, humanitarian services that Humanity First is able to serve in across the world, and especially a large majority of our volunteers are youth, and especially from the Ahmadiyya Muslim community across the world, not only in the UK. So we've taken this opportunity to highlight the works from across the world, from east to west, from north to south.
And you mentioned there that it's important to have that connection with the Khuddam and their energy and that spirits of sacrifice. How do you empower that in the work that you do?
So first and foremost is just to make it clear that humanitarian work, Humanity First, is essentially a fulfillment of the second aspect of faith, really. One is to serve the rights of God, fulfill the rights of God, and secondly to fulfill the rights of His creation. So this is where the link between the youth and their passion and their work linked with Humanity First and the service to humanity that they do is so inextricably linked together. And it's events like this that allow us to highlight that work and highlight with real case studies from earthquakes to tsunamis to development work, how Majlis Khuddamul Ahmadiyya is there at the forefront working with organizations such as Humanity First to fulfill that aspect of serving the creation.
And just finally, the whole Ijtema this year has a special presence of Hazrat Khalifatul Masih. In the UK Jamaat, we're blessed to have him attending the Ijtemas. Looking at it from Humanity First perspectives, what role does Khilafat play in guiding the work that you do?
Khilafat plays a crucial and integral work within the work of Humanity First. The guidance that His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad gives to Humanity First is essential. It guides the ethos of the work, it guides the rationale, it guides the thinking for our disaster response volunteers, it guides the approach out in the field, it guides the behavior towards the beneficiaries on the ground. So from top to bottom, that guidance is essential and crucial, and it's what actually molds each and every volunteer across the world.
Jazakallah, Dr. Saab, really appreciate you taking the time out, and hope you continue to have that involvement with the Khuddam and have their passion and their energy come through in the work that you do. Jazakallah. So one of, that was Humanity First, but one of the other organizations that were here today was the IEEE, which is the Jamaat's organizations of architects and engineers, and we have a small report to show you on their exhibition here at the Ijtema.
So we've got an exhibition here at Ijtema 2018. This is basically one of the banners that we had at our Jalsa exhibition as well, which was a much bigger, a more extravagant version of what we have over here. But due to the space, this is the banner that we brought around. It's just got some testimonials from some of the guys that have gone out to Africa, and some Lajna members as well, where they've just short captions from their feelings of when they went out to Africa. Main purpose of this is to attract people to come and talk to us and join the organisation as well. Also, we've got some of the tools and some of the solar panels and solar systems that we use out in Africa. So this is a DC system that we're currently using in a project in Benin, a model village project. It's a very simple system which relies on harnessing solar energy from the solar panel here. This is placed on the roof of all the houses. So in this particular village there was about 75 houses. So each house had their own system over here. And this system has enough energy to basically power 3 of these lights, and they can just be turned off just like that. And over there, you wouldn't really expect many people to have mobile phones, but a lot do, and they need ways to charge their phones. So this system here, you can actually charge your mobile phone from as well. So this has proved quite popular in that village, and we're doing some testing in it to see if there's a way for us to make this system a little bit better as well in the future. So in some of our model villages, the water depth is actually quite deep, and hand pumps can't go deeper than about 45 meters. So what we have is a solar-powered pump that we have over here, and this is the energy for this pump is harnessed through these solar panels. So the deeper the borehole is and the deeper the water is, the more power it needs to extract all the to extract the water up and for the people. So with this pump, there's also a water tank that is there. So it's about between 5,000 to 10,000 liters, depending on how big the village is and how much water is actually required. So this is like the demo version of that system, but it basically shows you it's not working right now because we haven't filled it with water, but inshallah later on in the day it will have water in it, and it will show you just how the system works, harnessing the electricity from here as well. We've also this year got the VR goggles to show an African experience. So we went out to Africa to the village that I was talking about earlier in Benin, and over there we took some 360 videos. So what I'll do is that I'll show our little brother over here a basic experience out in Africa. So, do you want to try it on? Yeah? Okay. So if you put this on, it can make you feel like you're in Africa. So the purpose of this was to basically show people what work we do out in Africa without actually them taking a step there. So it's actually there to encourage, to promote, and also expand our work. And it can also help in training engineers before they're going out there, so they have an understanding of what it is to work out in the African conditions, minus the heat, of course.
So with that concludes our live report for today, our third and final one of Saturday. Inshallah, we hope to bring you many more scenes tomorrow as well. There's so much happening around the Ijtema site, but our teams are working harder than ever to try and bring you scenes and highlights from all the different sporting activities and academics and exhibitions. We hope that you've enjoyed our coverage for today, and don't forget to join us tomorrow. Our first report will be in the morning at 11 o'clock GMT. So until then, from myself and the rest of the team here, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.